Welcome back. It is a very feel-good show this morning. Kate George joins us in the kitchen to make a little ratatouille.
Yeah.
I'm loving the smell so far. Everyone on set, for some reason, is so hungry this morning, so I think we're going to see the sharks descending. But of course, it is a big cooking day. I'm going to be baking with Solo and Caitlin at the end of the show. We bring live, all right?
Wow.
Which is a little bit scary, so join us just before 8 o'clock for that. I hope you are prepared. All right, I see our onions are sweating away.
Yes. So what I'm doing over here is I'm sauteing some onions in a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to add some garlic. And we're just going to soften all of that together. Yeah. You need that garlic to give it a bit of punch. And so what you want to do is just soften the onions nicely, cook them beautifully together with the garlic. And then we've got some red and yellow peppers, which we're going to add. Let that cook down nicely, let the peppers soften beautifully. So I'm going to add those in now.
Peppers are an interesting one. You know, you see people blackening them and that brings out a really sweet flavor. When cooking them in a dish like this, what's the watchword? You don't want to, I suppose, overdo it, but how do you know when you've got a nice sweet pepper without having to taste every 2 minutes?
Well, the color lightens a little bit, but what you want to look for is just for them to soften out a bit. So instead of having a crunch to them, they're just going to soften their flavor and soften their texture as well. So we're going to get that started and softening up. And then we're going to add our brinjals. So everything's diced beautifully. You want to keep all your vegetables kind of the same size so they all kind of cook at the same pace. Okay. So we're going to pop our brinjals in.
I was going to say, because visually we want to, and it's like, no, it's because they're going to cook in the same place. Practical.
The nice thing about a ratatouille is you can use it as a filling, you can serve it as a dish on its own, and you can actually make the veggies as big or as small as you want. So it's quite nice to make finely diced ratatouille and use it in an omelette with some lovely cheese. And
what exactly is a ratatouille, if you don't mind me dumbing it down a little bit?
It's just a very simple, it's basically like a vegetable casserole. It's a French dish, always tomato based, always got these beautiful Provençal vegetables. So it's aubergines, peppers, courgettes, and always definitely tomatoes. And they just cook down, it's kind of a taste of the Mediterranean. So now our aubergines in, we're going to take our Knorr stock pot.
Oh, these guys are so useful.
Very clever, aren't they?
And I like pretending that I'm a chef and reducing my own sauces and such, but I mean, who has the time? Ain't nobody got time for that.
Not at all. Okay, so we're just going to open this baby up.
You're right there.
Ooh.
Come on, Kate.
I know. I'm on it. Okay, pop that guy in. We're going to add a little bit of water to that.
Oh, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, this is a lovely, easy dish and so delicious.
Oh,
okay, so we're just going to leave those to simmer and soften up. And then once all of that's done, we're just going to add some lovely diced tomatoes to it.
Freshen up. I see you're introducing the tomatoes at quite a late stage.
Yeah, because what we want to do is still keep that fresh flavour of the tomatoes, because if we add them in too early, they'll just cook away completely and they're not going to make a great sauce. So that's going to cook.
These ingredients sent directly to your phone, of course, they're all available at Pick n Pay. You have to SMS the keyword Knorr to 33728. That's Knorr to 33728. We will send you a very easy recipe list that you can follow at home. Oh, it's smelling so good.
Smack of the Mediterranean. Okay, so we're going to keep our tomatoes reducing down a little bit. And then the final thing we're going to add is some lovely courgettes. So you don't want to add your courgettes too early on because they cook very, very quickly and you don't want them to be too mushy. You want to still have a little bit of bite of your veggies, yeah. So you want to eat your ratatouille knowing what kind of vegetable you're eating instead of...
And I suppose, you know, from a health perspective, if it's still got a bit of crunch, you know that it's still got a bit of nutrients in there. As soon as you start cooking that down, as much as we love the fusion of flavors, you're losing a lot of those nutrients. So, especially with guys this beautiful and fresh, I mean, we really are spoiled. Did this aubergine come from our own garden? Do you know?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, the voice comes down to us from on high. That is so cool. Love the fact that we have such a healthy garden outside, man.
Okay, super. So we're going to add our courgettes now. I'm just going to stir those in. And literally all you're going to do is just wait for the courgettes to soften. And as soon as they're soft, your ratatouille is done.
It's done.
Yeah. And so we're going to add a little bit of fresh thyme to this. But you can use any kind of Mediterranean herbs, so marjoram, some basil, anything fresh, a little bit of parsley, just to spice it up. If you feel like you can also add a little bit of chili to give it a bit of a bite, which is quite a nice flavour. And also importantly is just to add a little bit of salt and pepper, just to bring out all those flavours. What's quite important when you're cooking with tomato, especially in South Africa, I find that they can be a little bit bitter. So, and quite sour, so it's quite nice just to put a dash of sugar in just to take the edge off your tomatoes.
This is absolutely beautiful, a meal on its own. How would you serve this, or how would you normally have your ratatouille?
Well, it's fantastic over a little bit of pasta, so you can just toss it in some beautiful penne or some spaghetti, lots of shaved parmesan over the top, and serve it just like that. You can put a little bit of pancetta over that and serve it so it's not a vegetarian dish.
Oh, yeah.
Or you can just serve it with a roast as a vegetable side dish.
Oh, it is
very
fantastic.
useful.
Kate George, thank you so much. This is the finished product right there. It looks absolutely beautiful. Couldn't be easier to make. Kate, thank you so much. It looks absolutely delicious. I am vetoing it. It's mine. I'm going to take it off myself. But guys, I hope you're ready for our cook-along this morning. At just before 8 o'clock, we're going to get things started. We are going to be cooking for the last half hour of the show. So make sure you're in your kitchen. If you've got your computer, get that out. We'd love to Skype with you as well. See how things are going down in your kitchen at home. It's going to be a little bit crazy this morning. Kate, thank you so much. I think it's time for us to cut in.
Cool. Give it a taste.
New Knorr stock pot. Real ingredients, real stock.